If you're a fan of swimming, then we can bet you know about David Popovici. This young Romanian has blown the minds of many with his natural talent and skill. At his young age, the impressive swimmer has managed to break records that even some pros have failed to surpass. So, how has he done it? What's his secret? Now in this video, we're going to talk about the difference between him and other sprint greats. First off, what's the greatest record that only Popovici has been able to beat? Over the summer, David Popovici, a young man from Romania, shattered a record that many legendary sprinters have come close to breaking. For 13 years, Cesar Cielo set the bar for the 100 freestyle. After polyurethane suits were outlawed at the end of 2009, 5 swimmers came close to breaking Cielo's record but were never able to surpass it. Caeleb Dressel, an American who won the 100-meter freestyle world title in 2017 and 2019, as well as Australians Cameron McEvoy, Chalmers, and James Magnussen, Kolesnikov, were among the swimmers who came agonizingly close to capturing gold. Cielo completed the 46.91-meter swim in 22.17 and 24.74 respectively. Everyone else in the world has found it to be very difficult to match the Brazilian's early speed. Next up, who are these swimmers that came so close to beating the record other than Popovici? Magnussen swam a time of 47.10 at the 2012 Australian Olympic trials by leaving the water in 22.68 and coming back at 24.42. After that one race, Magnussen, who had previously won the event's world championship, was destined to surpass Cielo. Magnussen would ultimately win a silver medal in the following London Olympics, finishing a 10th of the second behind American Nathan Adrian, and he'd never again come close to his 47 low form. McEvoy split 22.54, 24.50 on his route to a mark of 47.04 4 years later. Before Cielo, Eamon Sullivan's 47.05 Australian record, the world record, had been lowered by him. But he struggled on the Olympic stage as Chalmers, a fellow Australian competitor who was only 17 years old, outran the competition and won the gold medal. The assault on the world record that came the closest was in 2019, when Dressel edged Chalmers for the title by 0.12. Dressel split 22.29, 24.67 for a final record of 46.96, making him the first athlete in a textile suit and the third member of the sub-47 club. Chalmers went 22.79, 24.29 for a 47.08. Kolesnikov smashed the hammer in the semifinals of the postponed Tokyo Olympics with a 47.11, dividing 22.52, 24.59. The following day, Dressel narrowly defeated Chalmers to win gold by a score of 47.02 to 47.08, while Chalmers was 22.71, 24.37. The American split his race with a time of 22.39, 24.63. Now, if this was such an impossible task, how did David finally surpass the unbreakable record? Popovici was the one who broke the record, while the rest were unable to. Popovici covered the first 50 meters slower than any of them before finally gaining those final few hundredths of his group of sprinting superstars had never been able to. Popovici set a new world record during his historic swim at the European Championships. He started off in 22.74 and finished in 24.12, setting a new time. Popovici split 22.93 on the way out and then 24.05 on the way back as he swam under 47 for the first time the day before the semifinal. The fastest finishing splits in history were those two, beating even Michael Phelps' record-breaking 24.20 from the opening leg of the 400 free relay at the 2008 Olympics. It even seems reasonable that Popovici, whose events of choice are the 100 and 200 free, would finish ahead of Cielo and the men who broke his record, the majority of whom are 50 and 100 free specialists. Even yet, it's startling to consider that a man might run a reasonably conventional pace on the first split and still finish quickly enough to set the record. A 100 free final, when swimmers turned under world record speeds at the halfway stage, almost never occurred from 2009 to August 2022. Now at international championships and even national level meets, points, the overlaid world record line may frequently appear, but by the second lap, Popovici's finishing pace will be far too much for his rivals to handle. Finally, what does the future have in store for our star? Popovici should have two options going ahead for raising his own bar. The most likely scenario is that he gains strength as his teenage years come to a conclusion and enters his 20s, enabling him to exit more quickly while keeping a lights-out back end. The alternative would be to end with a 23-second split, which is practically unimaginable terrain and was never thought to be feasible till Popovici rewrote the history books. Popovici was the only adolescent to break a world record this year, but many other young swimmers made their mark amid the hectic fourth-month season of international competition. The stretch began in mid-June with the Budapest World Championships and continued through the Commonwealth Games, the European Championships, the Junior Pan-Pacific Championships, and World Junior Championships, and even the European Junior Championships. Can you imagine? He broke the 13-year-old record that even seasoned professionals had backed down from, and only at the age of 17. So it's safe to say that this young teen is destined for far greater things as he moves into his 20s. Popovici is a rising star who made his Olympic debut only last year and has been continuing on a path of greatness. In less than a year, he's reached the level of a future star, and only those who have made their eyes shut would deny his talent. Let's see what the future has in store for this promising young swimmer. And now for some other related news. First off, Team GB High Performance Center will be hosted in Clichy during Paris 2024. The Team GB High Performance Center for the Olympic Games will be located in the northwest of the French capital, in the city of Clichy in Paris in 2024. The High Performance Center, which was inaugurated for the first time at Rio 2016, will be open during the Games and is intended to support athletes in putting on performances of the highest caliber. The center will be based at Clichy's Lycée René Offry, which is 20 minutes from the Olympic Village and is the only location exclusively for Team GB where athletes can practice, eat, rest, recover, or otherwise get ready for the competition. Over 200 competitors are anticipated to use the facility throughout the Games. Strength and conditioning areas as well as technical training centers for indoor sports are available to all disciplines. There will be important support personnel and services such as those related to medicine, science, nutrition, and performance analysis. Next up, Alan Wood, the Australian who won bronze medals in the Olympics in Rome and Tokyo, dies at age 79 on the Gold Coast. With the death this week of Commonwealth Games freestyle gold medalist Alan Wood, Australia has lost one of its true heroes from the 1960 and 1964 Olympic swim teams. After a protracted fight with illness, Alan, who was 79 years old, died quietly at John Flynn Private Hospital on the Gold Coast. The Wollongong native went on to become one of the best swimmers in the world, competing against legends like Murray Rose, Bob Wendell, and John Conrads of Australia, as well as Don Schollander and Roy Sari of America. Among his other accomplishments, Wood took home silver in the 440-yard freestyle at the 1962 Commonwealth Games in Perth behind Rose, and bronze in the 1,650-yard freestyle behind Rose and Wendell. Wood also won gold in the 4,220-yard freestyle relay with Anthony Strahan, Wendell, and Rose, breaking the previous record in the process. After retiring, Alan Wood went on to become a coach. He eventually moved to the Gold Coast and spent time in Currumbin Valley breeding horses. After the IOC presented him with his 1960 relay bronze medal in 1984, he will be remembered as a triple Olympic bronze medalist. Finally, due to a finger injury, Kira Toussaint withdraws from the World Cup stop in Berlin due to a finger injury. Kira Toussaint withdrew from the FINA World Cup Berlin stop. On Tuesday, the Dutch swimming champion uploaded a photo of her wearing bandages and a splint on her middle finger. Her left middle finger suffered an avulsion fracture just lately. Fortunately, it's not too terrible, but she must take extra precautions and miss the World Cup in Berlin. It occurred with a backstroke finish during practice. There are many stops on the FINA World Cup Tour, including Toronto and Indianapolis. It is unknown what Kira Toussaint's status was during those incidents. Toussaint just relocated back to Tennessee, where she attended college to begin her preparations for the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. She worked with the team as well as volunteer assistant as well. Toussaint formerly held the world record in the 50-meter short course backstroke and has distinguished herself as one of the best backstrokers in the world in the 50 and 100-meter lengths. Kira Toussaint, the Dutch record holder on the 50 and 100 backstroke, strokes, took home the bronze medal in the 100 back at the European Championships this summer, where she also assisted her country in winning the gold in the 400 medley relay. That's all for this video. What do you think about Popovici breaking the world record? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching.